I'm, selfishly having you on the show today to ease my mind that my littles that are 3 and under are not eating enough vegetables.
Mhm.
Is we have to kind of retrain our mind, right? Tell the
Mhm.
grandmas out there too, it's okay if your littles are not getting a ton of vegetables. If we are looking at things like raw milk, eggs, cheese, meats for our kiddos.
Yeah. Well, it obviously goes quite against the grain for the past several decades, of course, but that's largely due to well, from propaganda, but also due to different food companies and different sort of factions that have sort of pushed this ideology around, for their own benefits. But it's not necessarily for our benefits, and it's really not necessarily in meeting with the actual biological sciences that we know to be true about humans and about plants. So you get absolutely everything you need in the proportion that you need that, and that's very important. The proportionality in fatty meat and dairy, animal products, and things like that. So you get everything you need from that. How do we know this? Well, you look at the Inuit first of all, right? They exist, right? And
Yeah,
so if
they're
they
still here.
exist and they go generation after generation only eating meat, then obviously you need to have everything that you need available in just meat, right? And they not only are here, but they are not surviving, but they're also thriving. You can't do anything except thrive in the Arctic Circle in those conditions, living in an igloo without central heating, unless you are thriving, right? Or else you either thrive or you die, right?
Mhm.
And so that's what they did. Think about all of our ancestors throughout the agricultural or before the agricultural revolution, throughout the ice ages and things like that. There were no plants available, right? By and large.
Mhm.
So, especially people, in the further climes and latitudes. So they were going to subsist exclusively on meat. Last ice age, when people were crossing from Asia into North America over the land bridge, what vegetables and potatoes and fruits and things like that were available, right? So they obviously were just eating meat, and that's what largely the body of evidence shows, is that what humans have been eating before the agricultural revolution. You know, uh, it's very clear in the fossil record. Archaeologists can tell the difference between someone who came before agriculture and just after, but I mean immediately after.
Mhm.
So even just immediately before agriculture and immediately after, you see great disparities in the development of these skeletons. So I think probably most importantly, the cranial capacity, the brain size, was 11% larger before the agricultural revolution. Then immediately after agriculture, it shrinks by 11%. I think that's completely nutritional. They're also on average 5 inches shorter. They have shorter femur length, which is a sign of malnutrition. They have signs of infections and poor wound healing. They have signs of tuberculosis in their spine and elsewhere, so that you just don't see before the agricultural revolution, certainly not in any prevalence. The jaws were wide, broad, no cavities, no crooked teeth. Crooked teeth are not genetic, by the way. That's purely nutritional, nutritional and developmental. And so before the agricultural revolution, they all had big, wide, strong jaws, perfect teeth, straight as an arrow. They had all their wisdom teeth, everything like that. Directly after, it was completely different. Smaller jaws, poorly shaped and developed teeth, crooked cavities, didn't get their wisdom teeth in. A lot of signs of infections and things like that. So there's a lot of harm clear, just after that. So before that, we were thriving, we were better, everything was great. You think, I mean, and more recently, look at like Genghis Khan, the Mongol horde. They ravaged the countryside. They took over most of Asia, most of Europe. They were essentially carnivores. They ate horse meat, drank horse blood, and fermented mare's milk. And that was largely what they ate, if not exclusively what these people ate. And for hundreds of years, they held the largest contiguous empire that's ever existed. And they did that, living as carnivores. And you read the histories, they were much larger, much stronger, much better nourished than the peasant armies they were going against, that they just absolutely tore through.